and originality in hip hop, and I mean, honestly, music in general, have been gone. People doing something for the first time has left music, and it's because of the way that like everybody can commentate and speculate. Fuck all that. And we're just gonna do what feels right and not worry about that. And whatever flag comes after is cool. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to take it there? To not give a fuck. To care so much that you don't give a fuck. You know? That's what this is. When was the last time?
It's like I lived 2 times. How many times you get to live a new life? It must be because a nigga too nice. And we about to get too high. The devil in. This shit is heaven sent. And if we ever sin, we repent. I'm making a better plan, becoming a better man. Cause first time I died, nobody gave a damn. I'm taking everything they said I can't. Rebirth of a king, and I've been an ant. In my past life, had a sacrifice. Watch with mad eyes, green eyes till I realize I decide my fate. I'ma take my place. Can't remember the last time that I felt this way. Pop something, smoke something, get lit. When's the last time you heard it like this? Pop something, smoke something, get lit. When's the last time you heard it like this?
Yo, 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 what's up, what's up? We're here with another episode of Let's Vibe TV, baby. And as you know, I'm Daz Exotic. I'm here with the mans.
Oh, you know me. I'm RG all day.
We're in the building with another episode of Let's Vibe TV, and we have a very, very, very special episode. What up, J Life? What up, Mimi? I see y'all in the building. How the fuck is y'all doing tonight? J Life going crazy, going crazy in the chat right now. Shout out to you. Hey. So, with no further hey, and by the way, J Life's new album just dropped yesterday. Higher Power. What I see, chilling. I'm doing good. Hey.
You know we good.
You know
Let's
what
Vibe TV.
Bam good. We good. With no further ado, bro. The musical geniuses, the creative, innovative, immersive, legendary style. They ain't the underground kings, but they are the unconventional kings. I told you how we get down in this bitch. It's Let's Vibe TV. What up, high definition and low key?
What's good? What's happening?
We also got Aaron Sloan in the building. Shout out Aaron Sloan. I see you in the chat, man. You came in this bitch so early. I forgot. But how are y'all doing today? How are y'all feeling?
Man, I'm gonna lead out and say that I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty damn good. Sitting next to this motherfucker, I'm good.
Y'all spend a lot of time together. How does what is the best part and the worst part of it?
Oh man. Well, actually, we were forced to spend a lot of time together a long time ago because we worked together, and we worked in a business where you would regularly work 65 plus hours a week. So we were in each other's faces. So that part is really not the hardest part. I'm glad when he's here. He'd be here a lot. Our process is one that requires really the both of us and almost just the both of us a lot of times, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst. That's what up, y'all. Like, share. I see y'all in the building. Put some respect on the Unconventional King's Names. It is going up. We got a wonderful musical performance for y'all tonight from the Unconventional Kings.
Man,
So
we do shit live. We do shit live all the time.
All the time.
Nothing new.
look, my people ain't seen it yet, so that's what we're here for. My people go hard in the paint. I know it's what the fuck y'all do. I done tune into the lives, all that. You know, I be in the comment section all the damn time.
Yes.
Yeah, yo, Raw is War tonight on Let's Vibe TV, baby. Yeah, it's good to see you having a good Monday.
Mm.
Do y'all fuck with wrestling at all?
Well, I'll let him go first.
Do it. I fuck with what?
Wrestling.
Wrestling. Oh man, not for a long time, but I'm from back in the day with like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant slamming and body slamming Andre the Giant, and Ultimate Warrior, and all that. Junkyard Dog.
Hey, I love all them too. That's how I first. Obviously, I watched way past that. But what up, Bobby? I see Bobby in the motherfucking building. What up?
I was a wrestling fanatic for a long time. I'm talking about every pay-per-view party, all that shit when I was younger. Now I'm a wrestling fan like mainstream music fans are. Like, I know everybody that's really popular, and I don't know the storylines that are going on at this particular time and all that, but I can tell you that yes, man, I love the idea and the theater of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like I understood that. Like, these guys got to do this shit live. They got to remember lines, and then they got to do this shit live. And if they get hurt, they still got to figure out a way to finish the show, and they got to do it in front of everybody. Just fuck, man, the craziest shit happens. I was in Kansas City when Owen Hart fell and died in the ring at Kemper Arena. Like, literally fell from the rafters. He fell from the rafters, and his head hit the ring post, the corner ring post. His body stood straight up, and he was instantly dead, man. You could tell that he was dead right there. And I was like, man, these motherfuckers do the craziest things to entertain y'all, man. Off the top of three. I mean, the tag teams, the Hardy Boys, those are the matches.
That's why I chose rap, though. Because what up, Creative Collectibles? That's why I chose rap, though, because I mean, now it's turned into a lot of theatrics, but when we started, it was not. Who's your favorite? Herb, real quick before we get into this or that.
Man, it sounds so fucked up, man. I was such a huge Hulk Hogan fan most of the time as a kid, but I'm gonna be very honest. I have always been a huge Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan. I just have been, because he's just been
no shade in that. We
pretty
know
good.
That.
My whole life is funny. Long before, I actually got a crazy story to tell you about that with The Rock. So our first single is called "Hustlin'," and in the first verse of "Hustlin'," I say, "It be some days we don't want to get out of bed, when we just don't eat the bread, pull the covers over our head. Spend a few hours in dreamland watching TV instead, where your brain power feels like it's akin to the dead. But I'm trying to hustle like I'm Dwayne 'The Rock' Johnson."
Of course. You think I didn't?
So all of that. So I said that was the first person I ever mentioned in a rap that I ever put out. And in that first verse, I mentioned The Rock. I mentioned CT Fletcher, who we just did Iron Wars with, and I mentioned Tech, who we obviously do some stuff with. The crazy story about that, though, is this. So I go to Las Vegas with Lex Bratcher, and I take her out there because Tech is out in Las Vegas because he's celebrating his girl's birthday. And when we get there, I sit down and I tell Tech, I got this plan, man. I want to get my music. I want to get it into Strange Land at some point. I want to record something there. And I also want to get to CT Fletcher because I love the Iron Addicts world, and I want to get my music to them, because who the fuck listens to more music than people in the gym? Everybody listens to music in the gym. And I want to get it to The Rock, because if The Rock says your name, the rest of the world knows instantly, right?
Right.
So as I'm telling them this,
unless you Joey Cool. But go on.
So as I'm telling him this, he can't tell me that he has the face-off feature with The Rock already done. He can't tell me. He's sitting there. And
you made that line before face-off.
Way before face-off. I'm talking about at least probably almost a year before it came out.
Okay, because it's on your latest project.
Correct.
Hustling.
Yes. So as I'm telling him that, he's got this little wry smile on his face, right? So then later on, I go to Kansas City, and the album is done. He's like, "Hey man, come to Strangeland so you can hear your vocals on my project." So you know, what I mean, proud moment for me to just start rapping, you know, a couple years ago and end up in Strangeland. You know what I mean? And then he looks at me. And
You
he goes,
started a couple years ago.
March of 2020 is when we started.
I call cap, but that explains why on the beginning of your album, Tech Nine is like, "Yo, I'm surprised that it's like this."
Yes, because when I told him, it was kind of like at first, when I very first told him, you know, because I've known this dude since we was 2002, 2001, when Strange was first starting, when he was just in Travis's basement, and I remember Tech, like, just me saying, "Hey man, I rap some shit." He's like, "Oh yeah, hey man, send it to me. Let me check it out." And I sent it to him. He's like, "Oh man, Herb can kind of rhyme a little bit." And then we finished the first song, Hustling, and I go to Kansas City, and he's like, "Let me play this for you." And he looks at me. He goes, "You cannot say anything about what you're getting ready to hear." And he played Face Off for me. And as soon as he played Face Off for me, I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" And so the whole story in the first track about Tech telling us, me taking the whole project to Tech, and Tech saying it just needs live drums. All of that is 100% accurate. No part of that is made up.
Yeah, it felt like real phone calls. Shout out Kevin. I see you in the building. Prayers for you, Kevin. I know you're going through a lot. Shout out Dejion, the all-star, man. But we play a game here called This or That, right? And we got some questions for y'all. Look, respect to every option available. We like to make it tough choices.
I was ready for this shit. Let's go.
Kick it off, IG.
All right, so we want to know Bone Thugs and Harmony or Outkast?
Damn, man. Go ahead, man.
Outkast.
Do we both get an answer, right?
Yeah.
You'll understand now why we're unconventional in this way, okay?
Outkast, for sure.
Now, man, that's so unfair, man, because they're playing to a different audience. You know they are, and Bone was still able to almost maintain an underground presence while maintaining a mainstream presence at the same time, and they have diamond albums. So I'm gonna say Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, okay. We got one for Outkast, one for Bone Thugs. In the comment section, let us know. Yo, they say
the first show we ever opened up for was Bone Thugs and Harmony too.
Give Ian a quick shout out. He said, "What's up to your high definition?" He been in the comment section.
Oh man, Code Murder One, that's my brother,
What's
man.
up, man?
Fuck, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's my brother. Can stay at my house anytime he need to. Anything he ever need. My brother, Code Murder One. Shit.
Damn, Bone Thugs is slaughtering, and put some respect on Outkast's name, y'all.
Can I just say that your track Hustling, I definitely got Bone Thug vibes from it.
Okay.
Like, from the very first couple bars, I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, definitely intriguing."
Code.
I do want to say that when I was younger, back when Bone's first album came out, No Surrender was the shit. That was my shit.
Of course.
I rock
Bro,
No
the
Surrender.
Art of War is still a playthrough to this day. Both of them have playthrough albums. I gotta say, Code Murder One was defending Calico. He was on my ass for a little bit during the cake gate.
Yeah.
But we good now. We good now after Cake Gate. Next one. I'm gonna turn it up a notch with this next one, right?
Let's go.
King ISO or Chris Calico?
I'll go first on this one. King ISO.
Damn. Okay.
Now hold on. What are you asking me? Are you asking me as an artist which one I would choose to listen to the most, or you asking me to get rid of one catalog?
Instinct wise, like what?
Instinct wise, it's kind of an unfair question. I'm gonna tell you why, but I'm playing the game by the fucking rules because that's how you should play games. But check this shit out. Chris Calico was my next door neighbor in Kansas City for a short, a period of time.
Okay.
And I got to have a lot of experiences with Chris. I think Chris is one of the dopest human beings walking the planet. And I know for a fact that Chris Calico in the 2000s and the 2010s has got to be probably the most credited and featured artist in all of music. I'm talking about he was writing hooks at Strange. He was singing background vocals at Strange. He was doing his own albums at Strange. I saw Chris try to do his own set and do a set with Tech. And I mean, Chris Calico to me,
he did that for years.
Right.
So what's up?
He did that for years,
bro.
too.
Listen to this. So oddly, you say that second verse of Hustling. I say
you talk about Chris.
Huh? What's that?
You talk about Chris on the second.
Yes, I said never been a clown though. See if I follow one around though. What the fuck? What fucking my lyric right there? I almost had to start from the beginning. I say, car washes for the whole summer. Why pay every time when you can just get this whole bundle? The ladies see you in a dirty whip, it's all trouble. You'll never recover. No need to cover your helmet. That balls fumble. That pitch was hard, but I was quickly through with slanging bubbles. Started gaining hustle. Opened my biz and the relish double. That was trouble because I learned it. I could just go get it. Never settle for less if I don't sit it down. Give my best. Never been a clown, but I followed one around though and studied the infallible Chris Calico as he battled through injuries and catapult toward salad bowls at the show so he could do it again. Preserve his health for his kin and move the needle through him. So now it's whose house, ear house. Let the blood, sweat, and tears out, clearing all of his fears out. Indie Amplify actually got his weight on the climb, feeling so good and so fine. Futuristic built a platform and he put it online because he be.
Oh, you shout out my brother too. I missed that bar. We're not gonna talk about. No, I'm joking. I love my brother.
So
we don't.
So when I say that, if you're asking me, I thought you were asking me like right now, who's going where and what, and I would say that right now I know for a fact that. I haven't talked to Chris in so long. I root for Chris all of the fucking time. I wish I could talk to Chris. I will tell you that I think right now what King ISO has coming and what he's doing with the Get Well project, what he's doing with the man. You guys understand that King ISO made the beat for Red Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
He makes all of his own beats for everything, produces all of his own shit. And right now he's in positions, I ain't about to speak on this man's business, but I know that he's in positions where he's making music that you are hearing all the fucking time.
In my head, I love that song. I gotta say though, Chris Calico was, I liked Chris Calico way more than Tech. Because I felt like it was a little bit more for my people. I got my first Chris Calico album, Vitiligo. My homie Dave Strange put me onto it when I was a senior in high school. And so shout out Chris. I'll put some respect.
To be fair though, and I mean we're in a subject matter that I know a lot about and I have a lot of insight to because I've been around both of those brothers together. Yeah. What I'm going to tell you is that the introspection in both of the music that they do is so close to what's happening in their lives that the serving of Chris Calico that you got during Vitiligo is definitely not the same serving that you get today.
Right.
It's changed and evolved and been up and been down, and it's happened with Tech's music the same. You know what I mean? Like it's learning about, being around artists. Most of the time I was around artists as a fan. He's been an artist all of his life for the most part. I was always in rooms that I could be in because I wasn't some hungry artist trying to find a way to talk about my music, right? So I'm sitting there listening to some of the most amazing conversations. KRS-One, you know what I mean? Like guys like that, I've listened to them talk about hip hop, and Tech will always remind me all the time, man, write your life, man. He says, Quincy Jones told me to rap what you know and people will forever feel you. And you don't know anything better than the life that you're living at the time.
Yeah.
So the way that I look at Chris Calico projects is that I go to certain projects and times for the emotion that I'm in. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've told him forever that I want to do a cover. I want to do a cover of what's the one on the bus stop? Him and Tech are in it. Tech's an angel at the end. It's a song about suicide, about not killing yourself. Look it up, man. I got to do the research.
I know what song you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
It's Stop the World.
Yeah, of course, of course. He just did a whole show based off of more than a show, like a theatrical performance based around it. So
man, give me the first few words of that song.
I can't do
off the top. No,
come on, man.
Y'all got computers in front of you. Y'all can't look to see that. First, the lyrics to Chris Calico's. I'm putting y'all to work.
I'm about to
Google shit.
I'm about to Google it right now.
Got you.
Stop.
Well, while we're doing that, King ISO.
The look upon my face defines.
This is what he said. He goes. Look upon my face defines the room. There's so much I want to say that I hide from you. And it's obvious it hurts. I can make it worse, but I know my limits. Show me a Bible verse. I don't want to search, just want to end it. It's so hard for me to pray while I sit and wait in a line for change. And maybe you relate if you want when play some shit like that. I don't remember the rest, but I love that fucking song. So
let's give Chris Calico a round of applause. Move on to the next one. Ask the wee one. Let's get a little. What y'all smoking on? If y'all ain't picking nothing up, light it up. Do what you need to. And Mimi, we just getting started. We gonna have a real musical. I told you they don't know what's in store for them. They thought you was getting it then. They're not ready for what we got in store for them. But go ahead.
Right. So indica or sativa?
Indica.
Sativa.
Y'all are damn near polar opposites. Like, share. That okay, that's what you smoking on, that Brooklyn Boys Cannabis Company. Shout out Creative Collectibles. He's always in here repping and repping people while repping.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Boys Cannabis Company. I need plugged in with them. My next one. If you got to handle some business, right? What are you picking? A machete or a butcher knife?
Well, I'm 6'4", 300 pounds, so fucking machete.
The machete seemed like it got so much more blade area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
It's meant for chopping down weeds, I guess. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's got that length.
Yeah, I think the machete is an easy one, man. A butcher knife seems like it might frustrate you. Like right when you pulled it out and you looked at it, like, damn.
I wish I had a machete.
Yeah.
You just grab something and then like remove it in one chop, and that's what we're
about.
All right, RG, ask the next one.
So, Roots or UGK?
Oh man, I already know where he's going with this one, but I'm probably in the same place. I absolutely love UGK, but the Roots, man, we're such live music connoisseurs, man, that the pockets that their drummer that Questlove creates, just that whole vibe is hard to. It's hard to fuck with.
Yeah, I'm a musician, man. Roots all day.
It's sad. It's sad because he's almost the only hip hop drummer like that.
It is sad.
Nobody.
I'm gonna tell you though, the drummer that did all of Clear and Conjured, his name is Kevin Church Johnson. And I'm gonna tell you, he's Genuine's road drummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Genuine is eating right now. Eat.
Yeah.
Genuine on a whole new wave right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you guys talk a lot about females and relationship things, which is some of my favorite moments. Okay. So I think the world needs to know, right? Ass or titties?
Ass. Ass all day. Ass all day long. Ass all day long. Titties change. I mean, ass is technically kind of changed, but generally you can maintain ass. titties, they're moving, and at some point they gotta go. You know, it is what it is. And then you get them filled up with something fake, and now I'm just touching something that, you know, I could have got at the store anyway. Whatever. It's definitely ass, man. It's definitely ass. Let me keep it real for me, at least. For me, I think some people are very accepting of a lot of asses, and I'm not body shaming nobody because I think everybody want to get fucked by somebody for sure. But what I'm gonna say is that a waist to hip ratio is important.
I agree for sure. Yeah.
Now, Dejion, you know I'm a titty man. Don't be in here with my ass brothers.
Yeah, what the fuck you mean?
My ass brothers. Hey.
Oh God, my kid is doing TikToks right now, and y'all in the background. It's letzvibe TV, baby.
That's what's up.
We got to do it this way or no way at all, baby. All right, go ahead and shoot the next one, IG.
All right, so you know we both like, or everyone likes both of these things, but we got to pick one: respect or loyalty.
Oh man, respect. Because if you can choose respect, you can get the other one, bro. That's if you respect other people as much as if you respect yourself the way that you want people to respect you and respect them in that same way, you're gonna have loyalty.
Yeah, because you could be loyal to me and not respect me, and I basically wouldn't be able to get rid of your fucking disrespectful ass.
Well, you know the reason, facts, Mimi, but the reason why I feel like they're two different things to me. It's like, because almost with loyalty can get you hurt too.
True.
Because
if you're too loyal, yeah.
Like, yeah, and sometimes loyalty doesn't leave room for growth. So I feel like there's a fine line between the two.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, man, that's a good point, because you could imagine if you had somebody that, like, maybe you had like a videographer or something, they were really limited in what they could do, and then you really wanted them to be able to do something they couldn't. So now it's viewed as you not being loyal if you go somewhere else. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. You could be limited,
and also that could adjust it so that if you had the respect, then that would make the loyalty worth it, right? If you earn the respect, then the loyalty would be deserved.
For sure. Right. Well, the next question: Black Thought or Royce the 5'9" on
God Spit? Damn, man. Oh man.
Can I go first? This is gonna be rough for you. I'll go first. Royce the 5'9".
I feel like I gotta go with that, bro.
I think that Royce the 5'9" is probably one of my favorite storytellers, man, because he can really get it across and paint these great pictures, and he knows how to match the vibe of his stories with the beats, like next to none. You know what I mean? Like the beat can really just paint that picture that he's.
Man, I feel like if you ask Royce the 5'9" and Black Thought that question each, they wouldn't even be able to fucking answer it. That's unfair. I think, man, so you know what? Part of what he said. So I listened to a lot of Royce, and we are very much. Our slogan is we're for the greater good. That's really what we are. We're for the greater good. We know part of the greater good is that, you know, people with my skin color get an unfair shake. You know what I mean? Quite a bit. And Royce is such a champion. And I'm not saying Black Thought isn't, because maybe I don't follow it enough. But I would probably say Royce because I listen to Royce's albums. All his albums are in my phone. But I have never been blown away sometimes more than the way that I see when Black Thought starts to, you know, whether he's spitting one of his writtens or he's freestyling, but he's so amazing live and everything else. But Royce is, if you've ever listened to Cocaine, have you listened to Cocaine? Royce the 5'9" song Cocaine?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. He's talking about his dad being healed at the end of that song. You know what I mean? Like, it should be music like that. You know what I mean? Where they paint the darker picture with the good ending to the motherfucker too. You know what I mean? But yes, I'm gonna go with Royce, man. I'm definitely, if I gotta live with one of them, I'm gonna live with Royce.
For sure. Okay. You got a difficult question to ask for the next one.
Oh yeah. So, would you rather get caught cheating or catch your spouse cheating?
Man, I'm an expert on that shit, but you can go first.
No, you go first.
Man, I would rather get caught. I would rather get caught.
Damn.
I would rather get caught because I can control how I want to make up for being caught. I cannot control whether I can really get over that shit if I really love the girl and whether or not she's going to do what needs to be done in order to help me get past it. Too many fucking uncontrollables with the other one. I'd rather get caught.
Too many variables. Too many variables.
Yeah. You know what? If you decide like, yo, I'm over it. I don't, you know what? I got caught. I'm sorry. I do want to be with you forever. There's some drastic measures you can take. You know,
so you think you getting caught is for the greater good?
Okay, let me chime in here. I don't know what you fellas know about Italian girls, but I'd rather catch her cheating.
He's trying to stay safe. Italian girls, spicy like a meatball.
Oh yeah.
I might have to put my Mario hat on for that.
Yeah. I ain't get into my personal life, but I'm gonna just tell you, I'd rather get caught.
For sure. And our final this or that question is Timberland or Swizz Beatz?
Timberland.
Yep, that's right where I'm at.
Timberland, man. I mean, just so expansive.
And you take Timberland and now you're adding in Missy Elliott and Aaliyah and you're going to some next level type records that are still living 25 years from today
and still sound amazing.
Correct, man. Yes. I mean, if they came out brand new today, people would like them.
Instantly.
What up, Punchline? I see you in the building. What up, Damon? I see you in the motherfucking building. Congratulations to you on your new baby. Thank you for taking time out to be here with us. I see you in the motherfucking building. So I'm trying to decide. Let's do the musical performance and then talk about what, and then let's get into what you do. But it was another classic game of this or that. Shout out y'all for playing along.
All right, so what we're gonna do is a song about our favorite girl. Her name is Mary Jane. This is the third musical track on Clear and Conjured, and it begins a storyline about a dude at the end of a night. You know what I mean? Where he partied all day long, he worked all day, he smoked all night. Now he's getting indica out on the couch, decides he want to go in and get a little something from his girl. She rejects him. He goes back out to the couch, lights up the bubbler, raps this verse, goes back to her again, and she ain't there. And that leads into the next song, Ashes in the Wind. So we're going to do Mary Jane for you.
Well, and that's part of why I asked the question that we had, is because there's so much relationship and like storytelling. And like, I love that about it because it was way more female content than I thought there would be going into it. It's really a man's kind of album. Like, yo, I love women. I love working hard, like, and I love playing hard. So
we wanted to make a statement about who we were, because we decided to do this as brothers with very different backgrounds, and his musical experience, some of I guess what you would call for me musical experience, but in a totally different way. So the first thing that we wanted to put out, we wanted to talk about who we are. We really do, man. I worked all day long. I would smoke me some weed all night long. I didn't think that I should be able to sit and smoke all night long if I didn't work all day, man. I should be doing something with my fucking self. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the idea of, Mary Jane finally getting to the end of the night and doing what we do sometimes, which is veg the fuck out and get our minds right. but then our girl is fucking our head up. And then after we find out that she's leaving us, so we have Ashes in the Wind. Then after Ashes in the Wind, The Way It Goes, which is finding out that she was cheating with your homeboy. And then after The Way It Goes, when you become totally single after some bullshit like that, what do? You go fuck everything. And we got I Get It. You know what I mean? So we wanted to go down a route of this unconventional king. And it's gonna be dope, man. We got visuals and stuff that's gonna come for it, but this one's called Mary Jane.
Don't worry about switching over.
All right. And when I click it like that and try to make it look smooth and it don't work, I'm gonna do it again.
Mary Jane, take me away from the rain. Bring me a sunny day, sweet Mary Jane. Take me away from the pain.
Should I sing to him? Or maybe I should rap when I think to him. What about my problem? Should I think through him? Hell no, man, my night it'll be ruined. Ain't nothing I can do about it right now. Anyway, rather try to develop a tight style. Anyway, I got lyrics and lyrics to write down. Anyway, trying to decide if I'm leaving live down. Anyway, it's 2 in the morning and I still can't sleep. I'm feeling so horny and tired and weak. I went to my woman, she was in a deep slumber. 0% chance of waiting in the lumber. So I got a thing to marry in the mother. Ladies and gentlemen, low-key the wizard in this motherfucker. Oh man, double round of applause.
Double round.
Who's talking? I can't hear shit, Daz.
Oh yeah, you're muted.
Oh, that was fire. I said I had to give y'all a second round of applause. I got
shit.
the mic muted.
Man. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
I had to turn it up on them. Yeah, it's a whole vibe. Clear and Conjured out right now. Right now. The Unconventional Kings, y'all. This is the motherfucking cover right here. YouTube, Apple.
That cover was drawn by Jeff West, who is one of the artists for the Walking Dead comics. He did that. And if you look at that cover, it means something. We're going into what we look at as this city that's on fire. And if you look at the banners there, one of the banners says women's rights. One of the banners says hip hop. It's about all of it burning down. And these unconventional kings are there. We don't have our crowns on our heads. They're just there to signify that we're kings and we're there to handle business. We're gonna make good music that means something to people and try to do something with it in a limited amount of time, you know.
Shout out Big Doc in the building. He had surgery today. What the hell is you doing here out of surgery, Big Doc? Damn. Hopefully your pain gets better. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Mimi. Kennedy loves it. Yeah, follow the Unconventional Kings. All you got to do is type it in, put a Z at the end. Make sure you don't put anything other than a Z at the motherfucking end,
That's
and
it.
they will pop right up for you. So let's talk about very briefly, because we got to get into the music and how you ended up making this decision to make music. You started off, where are you from initially? And how did you end up around hip hop in such a real way?
Well, so Kansas City is kind of a different town. You have everything in Kansas City. But it has a almost succinct West Coast feel. So like we don't say hers and theirs like you say in St. Louis, and as you get further south, even though it's in a relatively small state that you're only separated by a couple hundred miles, the cultures are very different. So as a kid, I did become fascinated with chopping style of rap. I liked it. If you guys remember, even back in the day when Jay-Z first started rapping, he was chopping.
Yeah.
He was chopping. So I liked the staccato type of a presentation of raps. And in I want to say it was 1994, my homeboy Nathan Page came up to me and was like, "Yo, man, you got to hear this dude rap." And he gave me this cassette tape, and I put it in my 94 Ford Tempo, and it was Tech Nine.
Oh wow!
And I heard it, and I was like, "Who is this? Where he's from here?" And he was like, "Yeah, man. We didn't know what Tech looked like or nothing, bro. We thought he was 100 feet tall the way he sounded on the mic." And I fell in love with the intricacy of it, the wordplay, the way that he would make you think. You know what I mean? Like sometimes he would rap the whole song almost as a riddle to find out what the fuck you're talking about in the end. Like the words when he's talking about my dick. You know what I mean? He rapped the whole thing about how you got me into all of this shit. And you think he's talking about some nigga, and at the end he's talking about his dick. And I was like, man, that's wild. Because it was like a movie that you didn't know the end, you know what I mean? Know the ending to. So so I gravitated towards it. I was sneaking into venues to see Tech perform before I was old enough to see him perform. I'm talking about this is back in the 90s. So I got really ingrained in that culture. Court Dog, who has the Holding Court podcast that you probably see clips of all the time. He always has big name artists on there. He was a rapper in Kansas City called Court Dog at the time. So as I got closer and more closely around it, I moved into the house in Raytown, and one day I look outside and Tech Nine's van is in front of the house next door to mine, and I see Chris Calico walk out of his house to go into the van.
Wow.
Now I had met Tech a couple of times prior to that because you couldn't not meet him in Kansas City, but I saw
he
Chris
was out there. He was outside. Like when they say, "Are you outside?" That man's was really outside.
You had to politic. There was no internet, bro. There was no internet. So I mean, literally, you were getting it hand to hand. That's how you did it, or through Kazaa or LimeWire or some shit like that, right? But I'll make this story short. What ended up happening was Chris saw me. He's like, "Hey, man," I was like, "Yo, I'm a big fan." Chris was not signed to Strange yet, but he had already sung every hook on Absolute Power. So I knew who Chris was. And he was kind of like, nice guy. He was like, "Oh, man, you know who I am?" He's like, "Have you ever met Tech?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, I MC at Satin Doll Strip Club. Come down there tonight and I'll introduce you to Tech." And I went down there, and from then on, me and Tech kind of became, friends, you know what I mean? And I got to see the process, and I got to see how hard the work really was. That
you just gonna skip over saying Chris was working at a strip club?
Yeah, you didn't know that? I think he said that before. Yeah, Chris was an MC at a strip club called Satin Dolls.
And like MC as in like ladies and
as
gentlemen
coming to the stage.
I had that job.
I did it one night. Chris got me an audition for one night down there. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's just not.
Numbed me to the titties and the ass.
They wanted you to tell motherfuckers they was broke all the time. Like, don't go to the stage unless you got some money in your hand. You know what I mean? Like, it was a hood ass strip club, super hood. Like, but they protected, it was like the hangout for strange music for a long time.
Wow.
But that music scene though, and seeing the hard work and seeing how it paid off, I watched Travis and Tex sleeping on van floors. You know what I mean? Before there was anything, before there was any money, they was in the red, counting dollars when we was buying meat for a barbecue in Phoenix in 2003. Like, it was amazing to see it. And then I kind of just fell in love with being around hip hop because I saw how it changed people's lives, like for real, would impact people's lives because they would get so immersed in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's mine. His is more recent than mine, I think, from a musical standpoint of playing it.
Well, yeah, from playing it, yeah, absolutely. But no, man, I mean, shoot, like I knew what hip hop was when I was a kid, just like, you know, everybody else from the 80s. Like if you were born at the same age, you know, start out with like Run DMC and LL Cool J kind of thing, and Beastie Boys and all that. But it wasn't until listening to Rakim, Eric B and Rakim, Know the Ledge. That was the first song that hooked me. It hooked me big time.
Eric B and Rakim, they don't get enough respect in hip hop.
I don't think so either, man. I don't think so either.
They don't. I mean, Rakim, most people that are our age in hip hop will see him as a pioneer, at least. You know what I mean? He should be at least that.
Right.
And then as the 90s went on, man, I got hooked on Big L. That was like the first time I'd ever been traumatized by an artist being killed.
Right.
Was when Big L died. I was just traumatized by that, man, because I was like such a
Well, it was crazy because he didn't even have to make street music, and it happened to him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild. So now getting into making music and forming the band Unconventional kingZ, how did that happen? What up, Trippy Wild? I see you in the motherfucking building.
Well, I'll just lead it like this. We were working at a joint, and I had not disclosed that I was been a musician my whole life, right? So I've been playing guitar since I was like a little kid, over like 35 years now.
What are your guitar influences?
Oh, guitar influences. I mean, shit. It's a huge list to name, but you know, there's like Freddie King, Jimmy Page. I love David Gilmour from Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a huge list, man. Like pretty much everybody that's ever put out a record I listen to. Because here's the thing, like for being a guitar player, like I'm a student till I die, man. Till the day that I die, I'm gonna be a student of that thing. So anybody that puts out a record, I will listen to your guitar playing, and I will engulf it into my brain at some point.
How do you, Metallica or Led Zeppelin?
Oh, Led Zeppelin, dude.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, because your guitar playing and your singing is so smooth throughout the project.
Yeah. So being a musician, man, like you cannot name a style of music that I don't like. Like you can't.
For sure.
I view all styles of music as being like their own instrument in an orchestra because they all have a different emotional gravitas to them that you can apply in different places.
And so y'all vibed that hard at work.
So he didn't know I was a musician at the point, and he walked out one day and just started nailing this Tech 9 verse, and the metronome was perfect. And I could hear and I understood everything. It was a very complex verse. And I was just sitting there listening to him. I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, you just did that verse. And then, we started talking and so I would like beatbox and shit. And like, he would just start busting rhymes over it. And then one day we were like, you want to make some music? Yeah. You want to make some music? Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then, so COVID hit. And when I tell you, like at the very beginning of COVID hitting, when COVID hit, we had decided to do it. We tried to make the first song on an iPad, and we had to go buy like this special rig to be able to hook his guitar up to be able to play directly into GarageBand. We had no way to really record any music. We have a picture of it, man. I should have sent it to you ahead of time so you could have popped it up there. But I have this picture of him sitting at my kitchen table, with all these wires all over the place. And what nobody knows when they see that picture is that how many stores we went to that night to be told no and to not be let in because they didn't have masks yet, but they weren't allowing people in with masks, and there was a shortage and all kinds of shit, and we couldn't get it. And finally on the way home, I go on OfferUp and I look for this piece, and I'd be damned if like 3 blocks over from where I live, a dude had it. And it was like 11:45 at night, like on a Wednesday night. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm gonna just try it anyway. So I send it to this guy, and the dude's like, yeah, I'm up, come by and get it. So we go get this part, and then we start recording a song. And the first song that we
night.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was called What We Need Is Love. And it had like this kind of like reggaeton Jamaican type of a theme, and it was dope, you know what I mean? I heard my voice through a microphone for the first time because I recorded it in my fucking car on a USB mic into an iPad, and then I was like, all right, well, fuck this, I'm gonna put this.
Y'all have came a long way in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
it was a night after night after night after night coming over here with energy drinks and ordering lots of Wingstop and literally tediously putting together each section of the music. And then after doing that and having tech say, hey, you need to add a live drummer, we go to Strangeland and get all the live drums added to it, and then had to come back here and cut the drums the way that we wanted them so we could send them back to get them mixed and mastered by Binks. So there was so much.
Who also mixed and mastered my album, so that's dope as fuck. Yeah.
And all of this stuff, like we ended up through Mustafa finding out like everything that I really, really needed to be able to record vocals that could make it onto albums that would spin on the radio, possibly. So I went and built this whole studio it started as a closet that had a closet that was like really nice. And then one day Lex Bratcher was like, yo, I love your vibe over at the house, but you don't really have a studio vibe in the studio. And the next day I was like, fuck that. I called a dude and I had him build a booth, like came over and fabricated a booth for us. I put this red carpet and shit in here and all this stuff, and I created a vibe, and we would just come over here and work. He'd set pedals here and fuck with guitar tones. And eventually,
what made y'all decide to take it that serious though?
Once I was committed to it, I even told him, I was like, hey, bro, you about to see a whole lot of shit start showing
Your
up.
beard is fascinating to my audience. Shout out KD in the motherfucking building.
I knew that because of all my when I started playing, like I've been playing in bands my whole life, but all different bands, right? I started in metal, and then I went through like a jazz funk fusion band, and then a ska punk band, and then a commercial rock band, and on and on and on. And when we started putting songs together, I was like, holy shit, this doesn't sound like anything else. And battling that artist thing where it's like you're your own worst critic. Mm-hmm. I was like, I feel like this sounds really good, but I need someone to tell me that it's not. Right?
Yeah.
And so I went on this mission personally. I played the stuff we were working on for everybody that I knew, even people that I didn't know. We went around, and then he started doing it too. And we couldn't find anybody tell us that it sucked.
I was playing in Ubers, but I was going to California at that time. I was going to California like 2 times a week sometimes. And I would get on a plane and I would call the Uber driver, and on the way home, I'd be like, hey man, I'm giving you 5 stars and an extra tip. But I don't care what kind of music you listen to. Just listen to my songs on the way there and give me some real feedback from them.
And they do it?
Yes, and it was wild. It was wild the way that it was going down because
y'all
crazy.
Watching, if y'all want anything in life, listen to this man's story.
Well, man, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna turn around with a machete or a butcher knife and kill me in the car?
Never fucking know.
I mean, so what was crazy is that I was getting people that were saying like, hey, I don't listen to hip hop, but man, I really like that. And I was having people go, man, I don't really like country music, but Ashes in the Wind is dope. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
I like it.
Bro, I was fighting to decide what my favorite one was, but I quickly decided I wasn't even gonna choose.
That's fucked up. We got to do a this or that for 20 questions, and you can't. That's fucked up.
Hey, we need to come back, and we're gonna do the this or that, and all the questions are gonna be our songs.
Yeah, yeah. But what it was is that he's my brother in a way that you know what I mean. We're family like that. Before we decided to do music, we were family like that. So after we kind of got a studio set up. I said, hey man, let's take this trip. And myself, there's actually a third Unconventional King. He's just not a part of the stage show. His name is RJ, and he's our brother. And RJ was instrumental in helping us at the beginning to get this going. And we decided to get in a van, and we just drove to San Diego, California. And we got an Airbnb, and we wrote music close to the beach. And we bought all kind of weed, and we walked around, and we just were just friends hanging out there. And we wrote some dope music in a place. We took our whole studio and set it up there. And it was like, man, I'm still working a 70-hour-a-week job. So I'm literally working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then coming here for studio sessions with him till 8:30 till 2 in the morning, and then getting right back up at 4 and going to the gym. Sometimes it was an hour of sleep a night.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But he was willing to do it.
It's what you got to do. It's what you have to do. Mm-hmm. I told myself, hey, put your money where your fucking mouth is. If you're not spending no money, don't sit. Look, if you're not spending money on your product, do not send it to me. I don't want no parts of that. If you're not grinding, if you're not hustling, I don't want to fucking
What if I told you that some of the when we were testing our music out to find out that we took it to the Indie Amplifier house and played it for your brother right there, right through the speakers of the television.
That's what you got to do. That's what I go over there and do.
He was the first person. He told us that I Get It, which is the last song on the album, was the single. He told us that I Get It was the single. Which
would you consider it that?
It could be. It could be. Well, he thought it was the most marketable one on social media. It couldn't be a single on the radio. I'm literally talking about pussy on it, like the actual word pussy. It can't go on the radio, and there's no way to replace it. Vagina will never rhyme.
Yo, I was playing my album, which is legendary. It's a great project. Them niggas over there, they don't be moving. They just be sitting there with the light nod. I'm like, man, if y'all don't, I'm about to stand on the motherfucking pool table. You'll stand on the pool table and they'll still sit there with the light nod there.
So we went and played it for him. He wrote us. I still have the piece of paper. It might actually be in here. He wrote out a plan on a piece of paper, how he thought we should move. And he said, you should do a Cato challenge. And we did that. We killed one. Y'all should go look at it. It's on all our social medias. We did Cato's challenge. I just seen him at his show the other night and talked to him about it.
They're about to go on tour.
Yes. I was there.
I don't agree, bro. They trying to stain motherfuckers with that tour. I respect the business element, but don't say you want to help us and then charge $5,000. Put the $5,000 elsewhere. Artists, please, with love and respect for the man.
So it's like this. People have some eclectic tastes, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, people pay good money for shit that you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole all the time.
Facts.
So I say it like this. If there's a buyer for it,
hey, if they like it, I love it.
And you don't have to force them to take it. Then
that's facts.
Hey, people eat nasty food from nasty places all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's nasty food. I'm just saying, like, if an artist had 10 racks, if an artist had 10 racks and they said, yo, here's a producer that like did big subwoofer for Mount Westmore. He's got a couple Grammy nominated songs, and you can get a beat from him. And then this well-established artist that has 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify is going to main artist with you on a song. Man, there are people that pay for streams, bro. There's people that pay lots of money for fake streams. If you could get a legit feature, meaning I get a main artist with Futuristic.
It doesn't say he's going to promote it. It does not say him promoting it is not part of the package. It might be an extra grand.
Well, I don't know about him promoting it, but what I'm saying is that, you know, if you main artist with somebody that has a lot of monthly listeners and you're on that first page of it, you see such a quick change in that number. It happens really, really fast. It's happening right now with Lex Bratcher on that Receipt song with Connor Price. They had some shit messed up in the paperwork where she wasn't appearing as a main artist to start, and then boom, as soon as they added her, it was like 12,000 extra monthly listeners today. Boom, it kept going up because people are streaming the song over and over again, and finally her name is attached to it. So some people, you know, this is what I say.
You can't compare. Y'all are not out there spending 5 G's for meet and greet studio sessions, dog.
No,
what kind of advice can you give?
I didn't say that product was for me or that I thought it was a good buy. I know you kind of indirectly, very clearly said it wasn't, but I'm saying for me. So you've seen the big argument going on in Phoenix right now about pay for play, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. There's a huge pay for play argument. My point, I feel like this. We haven't participated in pay for play, and the artists that we have had participate in our shows, when we brought somebody bigger in than us and we've offered spots, we've never asked anybody to pay. We've never told somebody you have to sell a certain amount of tickets. We've never done that. However, I am going to say this. There are markets where that is a successful venture. There's a lot of artists out of New York that paid for stage time in venues where they were getting an opportunity to perform in front of particular DJs that had some influence and like that. But in Phoenix, there's nobody that's a needle mover like that. So I don't see as much value in something like that. Now, before
they need to make it the fine balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to sell this many tickets, but you get a percentage.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how it normally is. So, like at the Marquee Theater, we sold 116 tickets to that Bone Thugs and Harmony show at $40 a pop. And depending upon however many more you sold, you got a bigger percentage of the ticket.
Wait. If what do you mean by? What was there like? Okay, I get what you're saying.
So what she said was, here, if you guys want to sell some tickets. We didn't have an obligation. We didn't pay to get on the show. They invited us onto the show because they saw it. And so the lady that runs the Marquee Theater in Tempe, she was like, hey, here's 100 tickets. Whatever you sell, just so you know, we pay you X amount of dollars per ticket. And if you sell more than 25, it goes to this number. And if you sell more than 50, it goes to this number. And if you sell more than we after merch and everything on that show, we cleared a good dollar amount of money on that show. We really did well.
And that's the fine balance. I think that is completely acceptable, but it comes off like you're a bad promoter if you need the people to go sell it. What the fuck is promoter in your name for if you're making a bunch of artists do all that shit?
Right. And so as far as like not have if you don't want to have to play that game, like think about how much time you're spending developing your product, right? Developing your songs. Just because you get the beat and then you nail out some verses, right? I mean, you gotta keep going back over it, right? Because if you keep listening to stuff on the radio, you listen to songs, you got to be listening to like #1 hit songs all throughout time because they all follow a pattern. You know what I mean? And you got to get in there, like refine those songs and refine your product, and you find yourself.
And that's for quality, not sound wise. And
if the product is refined, you find yourself not having to rely on a lot of that other shit, a lot of that trickery or the fuckery with the money and the paying for all that shit.
So I'm gonna say something though that's fair. So or that I feel is fair. You know what I mean? If I have any product, I don't give a fuck what you're gonna do. If you're the best ice block breaker with your head, and that's the show we're gonna do today for everybody, that stage and that space is owned by somebody. If I want to have a booth at the state fair, I gotta pay a certain amount of money to expose my product to that many people. So I feel like,
but they have a built-in audience in those situations. There's so many variables.
That's what I was getting ready to say. If I, like, for example, if you found out that Drake was going to have a concert in Atlanta, and somebody that you know in the business comes over and goes, "Listen to me, bro. If you hand me $2,500 fucking dollars, you are going to go on 45 minutes before the first opener, but you're going to be on this Drake show. We're going to get you some great da-da-da-da-da-da. You'd have to have a question to think about something like this. As an artist, I'm going to pay for marketing in one way or another. I'm going to run ads. I'm going to do whatever. However I'm going to do, I'm going to go play shows. I'm going to invest in myself some way or another. All I'm buying to me at that time is I'm buying advertising space and time. Just like the Super Bowl, them motherfuckers are going to pay lots of money because them networks own that space and time, and it's going to go by and you can't get it back. And they say, if you really want another audience besides the one that you fucking normally get to, fucking Geico, because all of your commercials we run on these channels, you're going to have the biggest audience in the world. So that costs something today.
Of course.
So for me, it's like if I do run a show, let's say that I'm gonna put myself in the shoes of a guy that's putting a show on.
Chill. You hear me? I will clean your house butt naked and live stream it for you to record. That's
she wild.
Yes. All right.
All the time.
All right. Who got the 2,500 though? That's what I want to know. Who got the 2,500? So I'm gonna say this. I'm getting ready to have a show. We're getting ready to have a show February the 4th in Scottsdale, Arizona, the week before the Super Bowl on a Saturday night at Pub Rock, which is a bar that's owned by Redbeard that used to be Tech Nine's sound manager for 8 or 9 years, and he bought this bar in Scottsdale, and it's a Chiefs bar, and it's dope. They got a dope stage. We performed there before. Sound system is out of this world. Yeah. So we have Joey Cool coming in with us, with Lex and a couple of other and some Native American acts that we've been doing a lot of work with lately, and there's going to be 4 opening slots that are available. And I know for sure it's going to be a sold out show. Now, I'm not selling those slots. We've already picked those openers. But what I know is that it is going to be a sold out show. Most artists in Phoenix, you know it because you've been here, don't play sold out anything ever. And it's going to be a crowd of people that we know statistically are merch buyers. They're ticket buyers. They follow you on social media. They help you spread your brand. Native American fans are known for that. If you treat them with respect when you play for them,
best damn fans.
They're like the best fans in the world, bro. They literally.
I mean, that's what I seek. And that, and even I gotta say, getting hit by the cake introduced me to a bunch of those kind of fans. That's
aren't we looking for the people that actually, you know what I mean? Like
love
not the casual
music.
Not the casual consumer, but somebody that connects to what we're about, that matters to us. So in other words, being for the greater good. It's cool, man. You could go home and pray to a Muslim God if you want to. You can go home and pray to this guy. And at the end of the day, whatever it is that you go and do for yourself, if it makes you a better human being to share the planet with, go do that shit. I don't give a fuck if you go fuck a boy, a girl, or whatever. You used to be a man. It don't matter to who gives a shit. Exactly. Are you a cool person to fucking hang out with on the planet? Bro, when you do the shit that I don't like too much, will you do it in your privacy and I'll do the shit you don't like in the privacy? We won't offend each other. You know what I mean? Can we do that part? It ain't that fucking hard. Like that's the reason why we're able to be the kind of friends that we are. You know?
Yeah. And if you're gonna
because like if he wasn't riding half the operation, it would be completely different. The album could not even be done yet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, share, y'all. Like, share. I'm not asking for your Cash App. You don't gotta pay this legend.
Oh man. Hey, don't be trying to take shots at Tone with me. Tone, my guy.
No, I love Tone. Okay.
Can I say real quick? I think that another thing that's important too, man, is like if you're gonna do anything, man, if you're gonna make, if you're gonna entertain people and you're gonna live on this continent, man, you got to show the indigenous people love, man. Like you're on this continent, standing on this land. Mm-hmm. You got to go show them love. And I want to say shout out to Savage Kingdom, man, Native King, Tony Knight. Mm-hmm. That's QLA, what's up, man. QLA.
That whole thing, man. You should really, to tell you the truth, Daz, you should bring him on, Native King. So I'm gonna tell you this: they're moving correctly. They don't got they love everybody. And this kid, Tony Knight, I had no idea who he was. We showed up to the first night of tour, right? And Tony is telling us like, hey man, I kind of think you guys should close the show because we were all listed as headliners essentially. And he's like, I really think you guys should be the one to close the show. Man, this motherfucker got up on the stage and there was not a person that didn't know the words.
Everyone.
There was a lady back there that I didn't see move her mouth in the whole hour she was there until Tony Knight fucking showed up.
Sold out joint. Every word.
I mean,
they sang
and they knew
word.
everything. And what these guys did was I told them, I was like, man, we're really interested in going and playing for, I was saying at the time, the Native Americans. And when we went on the trip, he was like, man, Native Americans is not an offensive term. He's like, but we prefer indigenous people.
Right.
And then when we got there, we started learning. I mean, as a black man, you know what I mean? As a black man in this country, you know, I know that black people have gotten a horrible raw deal here, but a lot of people think just because Native Americans get handed a check that they didn't get fucked over. They basically have been banished to unfarmable land.
Disgusting.
They live on rock, bro. I mean, most of it's terrible, man, where they got sent to in exchange for some money, and then they really can't keep their money within their communities because they got to go outside of their communities to get certain shit. So it's like a trick bag that they, you know, it's wild, man. But going out and performing for those people and seeing how their merch game runs. I'm talking about, bruh, these motherfuckers will drop off merchandise on the way to the show on the tour to fans along the way.
Along the way.
The fans drive to the highway and they stop on the highway and sell them shit and we keep going.
That's the kind of heartbeat that even Mimi will tell you. She went to the show with her man went to the show without her, right? Mm-hmm. And she was a little bit upset about it, right? What I do, I came home and I came to her crib to say what's up. We smoked a bee, we kicked it. Like, yeah, my homie had a broken neck. Mm-hmm. I went and seen him. He could not come to the show. I gave him a merch package. Mm-hmm. We need more of that going on.
At this level, when you still can, you definitely should. Yeah. You know what I mean? You definitely should, because right now is the part of everybody's careers that are trying to build it. This is the coolest time where you get to meet the root fans in your fan base. You get to know them motherfuckers in ways now that you won't get to if you really do get your crowd to the size that you want to get it to. It's almost impossible.
It's hard, yeah. It's very hard. Yep.
You know what I mean? So for us, we knew that if we did that, now we know that once or twice or maybe even 3 times a year, we can go on a 7 or 8 city run, sell out every single one of those shows, sell out all of our merch at all of the shows. And they literally stand at attention when you go on stage to listen to what you're saying. Don't get me wrong, they turn up, but they are listening to you. If you ain't saying shit, they know it. They pay attention, man.
Yeah, no, man, I like what you said, life is art, bro, and you got to put it in there, and you got to give people. In a world where not a lot is tangible, I try to give people something they can feel, you know, something real, tangible that they can hold in their motherfucking hands. There's not enough of that nowadays. I mean, even we. Oh yeah, the Unconventional Kings have extra dope music. Shout out Dennis Brooks. He won Supporter of the Year on the awards.
I saw that. You know what? The shit that we have coming is really gonna take and turn people on their fucking heads. I mean. We've got some
shit you already got, does.
For real, that album was dope.
I think you're going to get all of the. I won't even say all of them because I think we're going to continue to develop. But you're going to get some sides and some musical sounds with some. You know what I mean? Like we can. I'm trying to think. Like maybe like USA. I don't know. Have you seen us perform USA on the shows? Like have you seen that when I post that clip?
I have not seen that.
Maybe right before we're getting ready to go off, I can do that one. Right before we're getting ready to go off.
Let's get it.
It's a statement song for us. And it was like Clay brought that beat, and as soon as I heard that, boom, 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 and I'm like, bro, USA. Like what other has 3 fucking? I mean, it's USA, and then there's 3 verses that's, you know, some of them are politically driven, but it's really going at both of the sides because we both think that
it's all fucked up. Yeah, I don't want to be a Republican or a Democrat right now. Fuck all that
one day
shit.
I said something. One day I said something to him about somebody, and I forgot what it was. But he hit me back, and he was like, "Bro, same team, like all same fucking team, all team. Fuck America."
It's kind of like when you go to the courtroom and all the lawyers know each other. It's like, what the fuck am I paying? Yeah. How are you defending me when you're friends with the people that are trying to take my fucking life away? It does.
Dude,
like
seriously, like I want to take this moment to just say one thing, man, to anybody that's listening or that is going to watch. If you subscribe to a politician, fuck you.
Yeah,
he just went.
Yes, because. Well, you'll hear it. When you guys hear, so we have a section of the album that's coming out that is, I mean, I would say that it's just probably the edgiest material in regard to, we don't want to attack anybody's viewpoint. We just want to attack the only viewpoint that doesn't belong, and that's cause harm to somebody else because of what I believe. You don't need to cause harm to nobody else for what you believe. If what you believe means you got to come into my peace and take it away, then yes, of course, now we do have a fucking problem. You know, that don't disturb my peace and I won't disturb your peace. You know what I mean? It's you're gonna get to hear a lot of that, and then you're gonna get to hear us just go musically crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm just never something that I'll say about the Unconventional Kings right now is that you'll notice in our music that we really don't we will never ever be a proponent of violent music. Although I listen to it. I listen to Brother Lynch Hung. I listen to some of the hardest core shit you've ever listened to in your life. But what we do believe in is that hip hop should not become this place where you have to be in a dark land to be in it. Meaning if you want to go listen to something that makes you feel good, you shouldn't have to escape hip hop to go and do it. Everything shouldn't, it can't be that way.
And it's hard to find positive music. Shout out Jersey Meg, but she it makes me sad when she says this, but she frequently goes back to 80s, 70s, Stevie Wonder when she wants to be in a positive place. And it's like, damn, there's feel good music now though too. It's just you gotta dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that sucks. Like, share. I see y'all in the building. The Unconventional Kings is in this motherfucker. Big Doc is back in the building. I think, what up, Jeffy? I see you in the motherfucking building.
Jeffy.
Disney tunes are lit. You got a kid, Trippy. I do still watch Disney movies when they come out just because the creativity, the colors, all of animation. Bro, that's the fuel. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that makes you feel something is the fuel for what I create. So I'm into all that shit.
Got you. Well, so this dude right here, he makes all of our instrumentals. We don't have any other producers or engineers involved until we get to the mixing and mastering process. Every cut, every effect, everything that we do is all done by him in kind of a skeleton format. He gets it to me in a write to format so that I can begin to write, what I hear on the song. Meanwhile, he's usually kind of figuring out the same thing as far as his individual parts. And then we will come together and combine the vocals with the guitar with how they should come together.
That's building a record, y'all. That's how you're supposed to build a record. RG, and they do it this quick, dog.
I did.
Take notes. RG got bars, but he be nervous about it. He be nervous about it.
Man,
so
I did this thing. So I was worried because I've always been able to, he was telling you, like, I've always been able to rap these verses and repeat some of these really tough to, twister verses, Tech 9 verses for years and years and years. And we started building this thing, and then I found
Great
out
songs,
we booked this show to play for Bone Thugs and Harmony, and immediately they told us like, yo, our pre-sale right now is already at like 1,100. So we knew it was going to be pretty close to a sellout. You know what I mean? We knew it was going to be 15, 16, 1,700 people. And so I tell this dude, I'm like, hey, man, I'm about to be out of town. We're going to have to mix our fucking rehearsals in. So I was flying in town, and we were doing rehearsals, and then I was flying back out of town and going to towns with Tech Nine. And Tech was bringing me up for a 3-song set where I really needed to be in a certain place, and I needed to do everything a certain way because it would fuck him up if I didn't. And he would bring me up, and we would do these songs together. And it was for the purpose of being in front of those large 2,000 plus crowds.
Because that's, bro, the heat alone.
The heat is different, and you don't want to see something in a crowd like that and let it get you off. So he was teaching me, he was grooming me for that moment, the same way like with Asinine, he made me an additional vocal on Asinine because it had The Rock on it, because it had Lil Wayne on it, because it had all these names. He's like, bro, you need to come in here or I need you to do the intro for me so I can connect your artist name to these people forever on this project so that it can help you. So it was a lot of studying that went into it, because I'm telling you the 1,000,000% truth. At the Bone Thugs and Harmony show, when I went out on stage and rapped with him out there, it was the very first fucking time. This dude didn't know whether I was going to remember a single word. He had no clue. I'm sure he trusted in me.
You're so proficient, though.
No.
Right.
I enforced vigorous practice before that first show. we run through the set 4 or 5 times a night, dude. 5 nights a week.
The first verse that I say, I ever
shout out Samantha Murray in the building.
What up, Sam?
The show was sick.
Sam. That's my sister, man.
Yeah. What up? We're very family oriented. Shout out low key the wizard sister in the building.
Love you, Sam.
Yes, love you, Sam. Sam does a lot of things for us. She does a lot of things away from Unconventional Kings for us. It's unbelievable.
She's amazing. Amazing person.
But we come out for this intro. Two-Tone came and brought us out. You know what I mean? He brought us on the stage. And Clay's already out there with his guitar and playing the shit. And then I come out there next to him. And the first verse was not a simple verse, bro. I didn't give myself a warm-up to get the crowd. None of that. I came out, I'm like, boy, you gonna need your Jesus fish. Better believe in this unconventional king decreeing the end of this evilness. Are you seeing this shit? Are you believing this shit? Tell me why these tough ass rappers run hide and flee from this shit. It must be the degree of the grit and seeing that we with the shits. Don't even need a full clip to saw you niggas in half, spit it fast, sing it slow. Get the cash, smash your hoe. It could be the easiest game in the most immaculate flow. Hacking the backpack and speed trapping brass notes, fantabulous notes. Rapping for positive growth, not into destroying our folks. Build us up and then go forward, trying to acquire the most. Then live fast and die slow. Hit the gas but lie low, because we pass survival and we just catching our buzz. We what it's gonna be, and we don't give a fuck what it was. Respect to blood and to cuz. The king that came before us told us to stay off of drugs, whether they wasn't or was. And I rapped that. And as soon as I got done, I saw the crowd.
I cut out any full one verse. Like, if there ain't no chorus, I will not be on stage performing it. Just because I found myself in situations where it's like, nah, dog, that's too, like, because it's almost like you get that one shot to be remembered. Obviously, if you're in a crowd of choppers and you're not chopping, they're gonna have some motherfucking questions.
Yes, and his diversity in the instrumentals that he makes for us has allowed us to literally do a different set at every show that we've done. So we have never.
Well, your shit is catchy. It's still commercial at the same time. Like, I still hear every word that you're saying. Yeah. You know.
Hey, check this out, man. In less than 2 years, they're going to be able to book us a set at Country Thunder, dude. We're going to be able to do country shows.
Yes.
In less than 2 years.
I've done acoustic sets, all that shit, because I want to be able to play anywhere. And something I've found is like, even y'all are learning covers and things like that. And what's like, bro, if you're a singer with a guitar, you can get booked 5 nights out the week, paid, and not have to bring a single fucking soul. It's the music industry is pretty racist and wild, but like, you got to expand yourself and be able to do shit like that. Then it's mandatory.
We have a lot of musical influences, man. A lot.
Code One brought up a karaoke experience.
Oh shit. Yeah. So, hold on. So there's two karaoke experiences, really. Because the first time that I ever heard this dude sing a fucking word was at a karaoke bar called the Brooksider up in Surprise, Arizona, and I had no idea that he could sing. And they handed him the mic, and I'm like, "Oh,
he's beautiful at it, huh? What? He's beautiful at it. What's your karaoke go to,
bro? He destroyed. What's that?
Me? It's one of two. I either do "Baby I Love Your Way" by Peter Frampton, or I sing "When Something's Wrong with My Baby" by Sam and Dave.
Okay. Man. Baby, I love your way.
So the one that Code Murder One is talking about though is that we were in Kansas City and we went to this bar in Westport, and when we got there, they was having this dope ass karaoke show. Like they had a full ass stage with a drummer and some other shit, and I mean it was crazy. So he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go up and sing one," and so he went up and killed it, and then Joey was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do Frank Sinatra My Way."
He did My Way.
And I'm like, "Damn!" So I'm like, "All right,
Joey Cool really loves Frank Sinatra, huh?"
He really loves him. Oh yeah, he's been to his homes and everything. It's wild.
Wow.
But so I'm like, all right, well, I'm Feeling Good, the Michael Bublé version of I'm Feeling Good. Okay. So when I did mine, for whatever reason, like this blonde girl, like kind of like waded up to the stage like a zombie or some shit, but she just had like one hand out like this, and I'm singing to her and like holding her hand, and I'm thinking like, damn man, I can really do this shit. These motherfuckers are really cheering for me in here. They was cheering like we had an actual show going on.
Bro, my go-to karaoke song, right, is Come Together
right
now. Dun, dun, over me.
No, not over me.
I heard it for the first time from Michael Jackson Moonwalker at the end. It's sad to know now that he was flexing to Paul by doing that.
Yeah. Michael Jackson flexed on Paul a couple of times and flexed on the Beatles real hardcore when he just decided he was going to own all of their music. You know, the way that he found out about it was Paul McCartney told him. The way you should make your money is you should go buy music. He was like, okay,
buy publishing rights.
So he went and bought all of the Beatles publishing, bro.
And then bodied their song in a movie afterwards. Crazy.
Yes.
What up, Heather B? What up, Heather B?
Man.
Yeah, it would be cool if because Joey Cool bodies that song with Jerry.
Joey Cool has a project coming out that's crazy. He played on like 8 songs on it. Yes, we went to Kansas City. We actually did
you get frequently invited out there, huh?
Yeah, that's my family, man. Me and Tech went on 2 vacations together.
Tell Tech I don't want no smoke with him, man. He called Chris during our situation talking about do I need to handle this? Tell Tech I don't want those problems, man. Tell him I'm a good guy. Somebody has to.
Look, so I can tell you this. Tech doesn't want any smoke with anybody, but he accepts smoke from anybody that sends it his way. But you'll notice that something is changing about him, and you can pay attention to it in the music. The very first song off of the album is called Screen, and the whole concept behind Screen is, hey, bro, I ain't got to ignore you. I can see you through the screen. We're still cool, but I got to put this screen up right here so that you can't get into my space.
I've seen him promoting Screen.
Yeah, you're bringing negative energy into my space. I gotta keep you on the outside of that. That's the first single off of the new one. So
Chris told me Tech personally addressed him about it. I don't sit here and try to. I'm talking about the comment.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all.
We got commenters who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
No, Tech will immediately come to the defense of any of his brothers. He's always ready. He's always ready. He just don't never. You just don't
ready.
He's ever
ready.
Yeah. You just don't never hear. You just don't ever hear. In my experience, and I'm speaking from my experience, and the way that I feel about my brother like that is that I ain't really ever seen him do anything but work hard and give people opportunities. Now, every opportunity that we ever have is what we do with it. Whether or not we feel like we get a
just
fair
had
shake.
Jerry Robinson on, and he put a lot in perspective
for real
when he was on. It's sad that they get such a bad rep as a label, and a lot of it is because the artists they don't got vision. They aren't ready yet, and that's on them at the end of the fucking day. There is Chris Calico situations. I feel like Chris could have gotten treated a little bit, but once again,
what I will say, because I definitely want to make sure I say my piece on this. I'm not going to speak on any of those brothers' situations with each other because I love and respect all of them, and that's an uncomfortable space for me to be in. And on top of it,
I wasn't asking you to.
No, I know you weren't. Yeah. But I want to say something about it that I think is important. If that's cool. Everybody in this industry is clawing and scratching to get to where we want to go.
Yep.
And very often our storylines are not only are we not the main character in everybody else's story too,
right?
But we're all at a point where we need or want something, and sometimes it's from the fans, and sometimes it's from the people that we're in business with. Sometimes it's whatever. What I'm going to say about it is that every situation isn't set up to be a really, really long-term situation.
Yeah.
Some people are like, some people want to go get a relationship with a label for a couple of years to help grow their star. They understand that they're going to give away a bit of their money to do so. But again, they're looking at it like this is the advertising I'm paying for.
It's playing the long-term game.
Yes.
Always.
But I want to say, though, the only thing that I've ever seen anybody say, and I'm not including Chris in this, and in a lot of ways, in all the ways, I'm not including Stevie Stone either. And the reason why I'll say that is because both of them put a decade of work in at Strange Music. They helped. They were pillars of helping it. Stevie was an unbelievable live performer on Tech 9 tours. Chris Calico obviously is a pillar of how Strange Music was built.
Yeah.
You cannot take nothing ever away from Chris. What I did know at some point, knowing Chris Calico, and I will say this publicly without worrying about how anybody feels, is that I do know that Chris Calico is a fucking king, and kings like to have their own castles. And at some point, Chris is worthy of his own fucking castle.
Definitely.
And he got
Totally.
a queen to go help him build his castle with him. And he's got relationships that he's built over the years to help him build a castle. And I think that anytime you're going to break away from family, there's going to be pain associated with that breakaway, because we all wish somebody would do something a little bit different so we don't feel like we feel. Yeah. So I hated to put myself into even think about them brothers being apart, because I never envisioned
them being apart. Well, their chemistry is one of a kind.
There's nothing like Chris Calico and Tech 9 on stage together besides Low-Key and High Def. Like that. I'm not saying we're like them.
It's rare chemistry though. It's some shit that you don't get to see a lot of, and what you should strive for in your relationships. So yeah, definitely. I mean, we're over here trying to build a castle of kings. So you know what I'm saying? The Unconventional kingZ is in the motherfucking building. Shout out Earhouse.
I got a question for you. You know who Prozac is, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Have you heard of Prozac doing much with Strange Music lately?
No.
Have you ever heard him say a bad thing about Strange Music though?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
No.
You know why? Because Prozac understood the ways to use the label, because as you're with the label, right, you're getting the right to use a logo that says you're somebody, right?
Yeah.
So he understood all of the avenues of how to take and make it. He was a filmmaker. He knew the kind of rap music that he made. He was talented, but he jumped in and out of ciphers with them. He did all of everything that you should do to try to make it. and he's doing just fine. I talked to somebody the other day that said Prozac.
Well, and that was my point, that like you got to understand, be self-aware. A lot of artists is not self-aware enough.
Well, because I want to understand, and this is where these conversations can be important on shows like yours, is that when somebody would come to me and say, for instance, like Darian Saffron was very, very talented. That dude was a talented dude, man. I met him a couple of times. I know it was
Me as
real.
well.
He was singing that shit for real. Darian Saffron broke his ties with Strange Music, and I want to know, where the fuck is Darian? Why isn't Darian someplace?
He gets in his own way. I tried to bring him on here. He said $100. I was like, oh, I'm good. I understand he's got to eat, but like you got to carry the weight of what you're asking for. I know the man personally. We've done multiple shows together. He's a very humble cat. Conversations. We've spent time together.
Yes.
What up?
I've talked to Darian. I talked to Darian a lot when he was there at Strange. You know what I mean? Like at shows and stuff like that. And I knew that he was talented. So I was like, okay, well, cool. Now he broke away with Strange. He said he needed to get away from that. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. Same thing with
he did an interview. He did a wild. I'm gonna send you an interview that he did. It has like 15,000 views on it.
Are you talking about the one he did with Joe K?
My boy Joe K. Me and Joe K. It's funny because full circle. Me and Joe K. just interviewed Jerry Robinson, and the main takeaway was that Darren didn't understand what he was getting himself into.
What is it? How are you using your relationship with a label as a part of your business plan, your overall business plan to make Unconventional kingZ what it's going to be? What can I bring to that label in that period of time? How much good music can I make so that it makes good business sense for them to either sign me to a distribution deal or a private artist deal or whatever? You have to come to the idea with, okay, this is what I'm trying to bring to the label for this period of time, and this is what I'm expecting to get out of it. If you don't have a good understanding of that, you shouldn't be entering into an agreement anyway.
Right.
But if you're starved up for money, I'm gonna say something that I heard Wendy Day say, and I think Wendy Day is the smartest person in hip hop.
Okay.
Wendy Day said, when they asked her, should you stay independent or should you sign with a label, and she said, can you get your music to the world as an independent? She said, if you have a way to do that,
you gotta have an infrastructure.
So she said, if you have somebody that's willing to help you from a financial standpoint, to buy ad time for you, to buy all that kind of stuff, she goes, but ultimately, whoever that person is probably would like to have their money back at some point, and they would like to make some money off the fact that they helped you by charging you a percentage. And she said, how much different is that than being signed to a label? She goes, if you sign to a label and you say, hey, I'm signed to a label for 2 years because I want to put out 2 albums that are going to get distribution through a label. I'm going to do 2 EPs during that time in between to make sure that I give something to my fan base. And in exchange, I really want to try to grow to this point. Do you guys think that you're going to be able to put enough money into a deal to get me to there? Because I know I can deliver this much product. Right. That I think people will buy. If you can't really ever say that, then why would you be saying yes to anything with anybody? I don't care how much I love you or like you or nothing. But what I do know, and this is what I have seen over all of this time, is that the artists that decide that they want to tour and make money when they're signed to a label generally do it. They generally can accomplish that.
Yeah,
they can get a booking.
It's playing the long-term game.
Yeah.
Always. And understanding where you are at. Find your tribe or crew. It works because we were talking about the indigenous people earlier. So tribe, all that, crews, all that works.
Yeah.
Yo, let's get into this song before we jump off of here.
You want to hear USA? Is that what you're talking about?
Of course, it's been an honor having you guys on the show, man.
Thank you very much.
So let's get into it. This is the Unconventional kingZ with
Let us get a tone. You're really gonna get a behind the scenes now.
Where so go back to the clean guitars.
I'm gonna take this out. Man, so the name of this song is called USA. The reason why I wrote this song was because we are for the greater good. And I heard so much shit politically that I thought, man, you know what? Fuck all of them. I'm writing this shit. Watch what I'm gonna do. Are you live? You gotta.
You should be go to the clean guitar shit.
So say something. Ask me a question while I'm doing this. Daz, what else you want to know?
First one.
I mean, man, we're talking about what's next. So, I mean, USA, is it gonna be the next single to drop? And you can find them anywhere under the Unconventional kingZ. Unconventional kingZ, motherfucker.
That's right. So this is what I use. Let's tell me if our sound is good here.
Oh yeah.
And I say, any members
that 808 is crazy.
Past, present, or future, we appreciate you signing on the dotted line for us to protect our freedoms, so we can talk about how we feel about the bullshit going on in this country that we call Unconventional kingZ, motherfucker. Unconventional kingZ, motherfucker. Unconventional kingZ, motherfucker. Unconventional savagery. Anytime I check savages attack underserved savagely addicted understudy, sadly apathetic to underwhelming, stupidly appointed university suckers asunder umbrella companies setting us under for lawyers. Why we eat the lorries and Goya, why not keep it real the way we consume it? Loyal to one another while we shut down and cool. They stay getting over on brothers, huh? How about some pride in the way that we treat each other in a country that don't love us? I guess we don't need each other. See me, brother, we declare the ultimate superior African universal satisfaction. Anything we hit is trouble. Undeserved slavery accosted us, so an underdeveloped simple African is what they call us. Even though they stalled us, we continue to rise. Just tell me how we gonna do it if we continue to die, huh?
Hey, motherfuckers. kingZ, motherfuckers. Shout out Amanda Carpenter.
Unconventional kingZ, motherfucker. I'm an American. Let's keep that real straight. But what I'm about to rap about gonna bring some real hate. I'm talking number 7, the one that took a knee to draw attention to these cops that kill so easily. He got the first degree and got it from these patriots that went to the Capitol in part to try to hurt police. And undeterminedly, they swept him away. He tried to navigate the pocket, but they won't let him play. When it comes to the anthem, it might be time to kneel again, because insurrection is slated while breaking and entering. Remember when Colin was rocking big socks? People were so shocked they would think on these pole cops, now they get who they don't rob. Blue lives matter. How could these people that love y'all end up being so damn mad at you? You know fighting cops ain't an option when you black.
Yes, MAGA found the only cops that don't want to bust a cap with a
USA. Unconventional kingZ,
Motherfuckers. Hey. Unconventional kingZ, motherfuckers.
Listen real carefully. Look. Unconventional kingZ, motherfucker. Agree with us so now we can be better than this. The right and the left can't seem to get together on shit. And in a lot of cases, kids hang in the balance in this. Where presidential puppetry look like the crooks always win. I wondered like Bill Clinton, but he jailed brothers quicker than when his fingers flicking like he playing sax, keys sticking. I love Barack too, taking faith to JFK. But all 3 came and went, and we still got the KKK. Kennedy did the most. Didn't like him, they killed his ass right on a Dallas street, a U.S. Titan. Brother Bobby Martin, Malcolm, and Fred Hampton would follow through. Waters of a movement. Now it ain't no fucking excuses to let them die in vain for their working to be a race for the power to come and try to divide us further by race. It's a fucking disgrace, and we can't be catching cases because these Trump and voting racists forgot just how soft they face
U.S.
Okay, so I said these Trump and
kingZ.
voting racists forgot just how soft their face is, and what I meant is you gotta just turn the music back on. Okay, look. We love Trump supporters too. We don't care that you believe in something different, but there is a group in the United States called the KKK, and they supported a presidential candidate in 2016. His name was Donald Trump. And then they went out in the street and they talked some shit to the wrong niggas and got beat the fuck up. And it happened right here in the USA.
Unconventional Kings, motherfuckers. Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty. They were loving it in the comment section.
I can't see them, so I didn't know.
I was putting up them. They were putting up them flame emojis, them heart emojis, all that kind of shit. Oh yeah, of course your sister loved it. She already knew the song. That's why she said "Unconventional Kings."
Boy, does she ever know the song? She's seen everybody's reaction in the crowd when I say these trumpet voting racists forgot just how soft their face is, and the record scratch. Everybody goes, "What the fuck did he just say?" Because I did that in a small town in Ohio.
Oh,
and when they looked around, and then immediately I go, "Hey man, we love y'all too. Y'all can love that motherfucker if you want to." But at the end of the day, there's some people that rock with y'all that give you a bad look. You motherfuckers should be standing up against them dudes, not us.
Yeah,
they're the one that's giving you the bad look in the streets. You know, walking around with Nazi flags and shit. Come on, man. What are we talking about here?
What are we talking about here? Well, we've been talking about the unconventional motherfucking kings. They are in the building. Let's give them a round of applause. It's been another dope episode of Let's Vibe TV, baby. You know the vibe are always high. Find us every Daz Exotic, RG all day, Unconventional Kings. Follow us. Let's Vibe TV. I got it right here, motherfuckers. Let's Vibe TV, motherfuckers.
Do you play a song when you leave?
Hell no, we just get the fuck out of here.
All right, well, we just fucking leaving then. Go listen to The Way It Goes when y'all leave here. If you want to hear a motherfucker shred up a guitar, there's a song number.
I mean, I was gonna play a song, but the second you said live performances, I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah,
that's out the window.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. Thank you so much.
No, you already, know how me and you rock, man. You already know, bro. So thanks a lot. We got to get it in proper, just like I said we would. Shout out to y'all watching. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love.